All right. I think we're actually a minute early this time. That's exciting. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Rise and shine.
Happy Monday. Thanks for joining us. As you can see, my video might be freezing, so I might have to intermittently come in and out, but you guys can hear me anyways. But thanks for joining us. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Irismar is in the office, as you can see again this week. Never a fun time, but anyways, that's how we got to roll now, back in the office. But
it shows the adaptability, right? We have to be adaptable, keep pivoting. So
absolutely. So I just want to pull out an announcement there. Irismar and I are coming to Calgary for a meetup. We're going to be Saturday, January the 21st. So there'll be a link in the comment section for the event. So if you live in the Calgary area, come out for that event. It's the first REI Calgary meetup of 2023. So that should be a big deal to keep you, get you networking, get you motivated with a bunch of like-minded individuals, great people. And we're going out there to see Craig and Amber DeMar, who are incredible real estate investors. They are specialized in RTOs, rent to own. So we're looking forward to spending some time with them and co-hosting this meetup with them.
I know, very excited. So if you're out there, please come out. It'd be great to see you and reconnect.
Yes, and even if you're new, you know, like I said before, Irismar and I, we started off with these this journey of real estate investing, just going to these meetups, learning from people, getting to know people. We were scared and nervous driving out to the first one, going to a barbecue at Dijon's house, Diana and John Benitez. Just nervous. I'm driving there thinking, is it just going to be Irismar and myself sitting in the corner eating off a plate of food together and not talking to anybody, because we don't know anything. We didn't have any assets and we didn't know anything. We just didn't know anybody. And it turned out to be one of the greatest moments of our lives. It was definitely a life changer. And we try to go to as many of these meetups as possible and share the love.
Just remember, investing is all about the community and the involvement and the knowledge sharing and that care and support for one another, which I know in some industries is not as easily identifiable, but we have experienced that firsthand. Every investor that we have encountered are willing to share their knowledge, their practice, and there's no reason to reinvent the wheel. You know, if they have gone through a hurdle, just talk to them. They're gonna save you the hassle, right? So just remember, it's the strength in numbers and a way of giving back.
So what we have new this year for 2023 is we have our friends and business partners. I've got Mike Seal coming on. Mike is the Referral Network Realty man. And Mike, what we got one of your special guests coming on and shortly. Tell us about Referral Network Realty. What's this all about?
So, you know, Referral Network Realty is a organization that provides access for investors to top performing real estate professionals, investor focused across Canada and the United States. You know, today we got the luxury of having probably one of my favorite realtors from the London St. Thomas market, Justin Conacow, to come on board today. And I think what we're going to try and do is a little speed dating every week with R&R and a different featured realtor that'll give us a chance to, you know, give some people some insight as to what markets, what's happening in those markets, what the updates are, what the best strategies are going to be in that market. So without any further ado for that, we'll introduce the ultimate real estate practitioner, Justin Conacow.
Thanks for having me, Mike. I appreciate being here.
Thanks, Justin. You know what? I've had an opportunity to meet part of your team and part of the greater R&R network. And I have to just say, you know, you guys are just doing a fabulous job. I love what you guys bring to the table and how you guys help us and educate us into finding some of the best properties. Just really fantastic team you have there.
But I appreciate that. I mean, it wasn't like that in the beginning. It was trying to reverse engineer what investors wanted. Right now, I was more an investor than I was an agent. And I felt the industry left a lot to be desired. They were just set up a portal. I find my own property. They open the door and get paid, and didn't work for me. So yeah, just trying to make people happy.
Right on. And yeah, so share us with us about the London market there. What makes London a great place to be a real estate investor?
Well, it's super diversified, right? I think just if you look at London, a lot of people think it's the University of Western Ontario, but we actually have a massive agricultural impact to the Canadian GDP. We have more Class A agricultural land than almost anywhere in the world. Manufacturing technologies, health technologies, finance, it's always been the little engine that could. And the GLA, or the Greater London area, is what's happening to Southwestern Ontario. So it is kind of the heartbeat of that whole Southwestern pocket. Tons of companies like Amazon are set up shop in the area, which should give you an idea of what's going to be happening in the future of the area. And I think diversified investment vehicles. So we're not reliant on student rentals. They're actually the smaller part of our marketplace. We have large multifamilies, we have land development deals, we have single family homes, and even the condos, townhouses, and things along those lines. Those are newer products to our market. So the price point and entry point is super affordable.
Wow, you know, I be honest, I don't think of London and agricultural. That's incredible. Is that a big part of your business?
Massive. Yeah. I mean, my in-laws sell Ford trucks to probably more farmers than anybody in Canada. And I can tell you, like, for two reasons. One, from a development perspective, we have tons of land for future development. So that'll be brought into official plans in the secondary and tertiary markets very thoughtfully. But it's also the gold you can eat, right? The one thing that we will need in the future is food. So if you believe that humans need to eat, so Southwestern Ontario is probably a good place to invest in.
And what in this type of environment that we find ourselves in at the beginning of 2023, what do you find is one of the better strategies that your clients are looking at taking on?
I think it's really understanding what's happening from a macro perspective, right? The buyer sentiment fell off a cliff, but now it's coming back. The VOC's made announcements in December and really highlighted that they're going to be doing reduced rates. So like looking for opportunities that other people are overlooking is always where I find investors find the best success. So we've taken properties through our market intelligence team at Prime and repositioned them. And people looked at those deals over and over and over, but they're not from our market. They don't understand the data like we do, and they don't really understand how to execute. So we've taken, you know, those lumps of coal and turned them into diamonds just by really understanding what's happening in those areas over and beyond the numbers, because anybody can run numbers, but if you have info as to what's happening development wise in those areas and connections that go beyond the MLS, that's where you can find great opportunities.
Well, yeah, you got Irismar and I excited about this. Wow. Okay. That sounds like an awesome place to check out and invest. We'll have to spend a weekend there sometime and hang out with you and the team.
Yeah, it's wild. I told you we have a full office right now of people that are in the investment space. So we'll have you guys down and we'll have some fun too.
Awesome. Well,
awesome. We look forward to that.
I know you're busy.
Actually, just wanted.
Oh, sorry, Irismar.
Go ahead, Irismar.
Sorry, I was just about to ask, as we're looking at the market quickly, have you seen that perhaps those investors that bought and hold are continuing a strategy of perhaps just renting to single families, or you're seeing a big shift into like that midterm rental or kind of shifting?
Yeah, so I've definitely seen people that have bought and hold, looking at like, well, we've seen great increases in prices, even if they've dropped since February, cashing out and saying, let's get our cash so we can buy some deals. And we can fight on the sell side. We're actually seeing a big influx in interest, offers, and activity in January that we didn't see in December. So if you're a seller, maybe a good time to cash out. If you're a buyer, I think you have an 8 to 12 month runway to beat up sellers, because not everybody's created equal. And some people are going to be super desperate. So we are seeing very active investors. Actually, Grant McDonald just walked into the office. So he's very active.
Perfect.
That's awesome. Sorry, Mike.
No, that's perfect. Yeah, that's exactly it. Now's the time, right? As a real estate investor, it's important for us to take action, look at what's available in the markets and get to it.
Yeah, it's you know what, even from a personal perspective, right? Like we buy land and we like investing as well too. And I mean, we're putting offers on stuff that we're not getting everything accepted, but we're taking shots and we're getting responses on stuff that we never thought we'd get a response on. So it's what you said, Mike. It's, I think, getting in communities and around people like you guys, Jim and Irismar as well, that are just kind of understanding what's happening macro, but then acting in the micro. I think that's super important.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I appreciate that. Appreciate your time. I know you're really busy. So Mike, if you don't mind, if you could put how our viewers can get in touch with Justin and reach out to him, and then put it in the comments perhaps. And Justin will
I'll put that in the comments really quick as you're bringing on the next thing. People can reach out at KeySpire at Referral Network Realty as an email address, obviously reaching out to their coaches and even getting a chance to connect with Jim and Irismar themselves. They can certainly connect you to us where we can connect you to Justin.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you,
Fantastic.
Mike.
Thank you
Awesome.
both very
Great
much.
seeing you guys. Take care.
Awesome. Well, that is an exciting area. London, Ontario is really beautiful. We haven't spent as much time out there as we'd like. So it's a great area. It's a great area to explore, and we know many investors that are in that area. Thanks for putting that in there, Mike. We'll also put it on the. Have a great week. We'll put that on the Facebook Live as well. And now we're going our second.
See you next week, guys.
Thank you, Mike.
See you next week.
Bye,
Thank
guys.
you.
That's Mike Seal of Realty Referral Network. Did I do that right? Referral Network Realty. Said that backwards. Sorry. So anyways, we have our next guest, guys, a wonderful couple that provide a lot of value to the community. They have certainly leveled it up in their past. So I want to welcome you guys. I want to welcome Jamie and Leslie Caller. Thank you for joining us.
Hi.
Hi, guys.
Thanks for having us.
It looks like you are somewhere not in Canada.
Yeah, we're at our house in Curacao.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, so you're snowbirds, you're avoiding what's going on here, the minus temperatures that we're experiencing in South.
I know. Yeah, I feel bad for you. I really do.
Well, Irismar and I have a husky shepherd, so she really enjoys this type of weather. She's outside right now, just in the snow.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Yeah.
We brought our pug with us this time when we came to Curacao because she loves the heat.
Yeah.
So she's here with us.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Okay.
that's lovely.
Awesome. She loves the heat. So she's always finding a place in the, like a sunbeam kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
her.
Yep.
That's funny. Well, now you guys have been real estate investing for how long now?
So we started with Keyspire back in 2016 and we bought our first rental property 2017.
Okay, all right. So we're going about six years in now.
Yep.
Into
Yeah.
that. And you started off buying, what was the first thing you bought? Sorry.
First thing we bought was just this little small, like 700 square foot home in Woodstock, Ontario. Just a single family home.
And we panicked because we were going to pay $106,000 for it.
Yeah.
Now, where's Woodstock, Ontario, for those that don't know?
It's kind of halfway between Brantford and London, I guess. Or
Okay.
sorry,
Okay.
Hamilton, London, somewhere in that area.
Right
Right
on.
along the three.
Did Justin Conocow help you get that property?
No, actually, just a local realtor
Yeah.
in our
Okay.
area that we
Yeah.
knew showed us that one.
Right
So we have talked to Justin before, but not
Oh,
for
I
that.
love Justin. Yeah.
Yeah, not for that
Yeah.
property.
So we ended up burying that property. So we put in crazy. We did the whole house. It was so tiny. We did all the work. We put in about 15,000 and we refinanced it out and pulled out $50,000.
Wow.
So that was all in about a 2-month period. And then we closed on a duplex as soon as we refinanced out. So from there, we just kind of we focused a little bit on duplexes, triplexes, and fourplexes for about 2 years. And then we just realized that for us, the commercial multifamily was a better strategy.
Yeah, we were getting to where we were getting topped out in mortgages. It was getting harder to get mortgages,
Residential mortgages.
residential mortgages. A lot of our smaller duplexes, fourplexes, that sort of thing are in some smaller towns around where we live because we're kind of rural.
Right.
And we started running into issues with appraisals because in a residential area, appraisals are all done by comps, right? You're comparing to other people's rentals. And we were putting ours top of the line, really nice rentals, and then they're comparing them to a rundown building because that's all they have. They just don't have the big option to pick from. So we kind of got dejected a little bit and thought, that was our big like, aha, we need to go to commercial because we learned that commercial is all valued on your net operating income. So your income minus your expenses. And then, just using a cap rate, you can figure out the exact value of the building. And you can do this right before you even start and know where your refinance is going to come in basically before you even start the building. So
Yeah.
that's when we decided, that sounds good to us. It's a little more predictable and not relying on an appraiser to help get our funds back out to move to the next project.
Yeah.
Now, what gave you the confidence to want to take on these bigger, massive projects? Like, did you join a course, or was there a mastermind or something?
So we did one-on-one coaching with John Carter, who's out in Edmonton. He's actually a commercial realtor, and he does BRRRRs himself on commercial residential properties. And then I'm just kind of a research geek. So I was researching as much as I could on how the strategy works. And we were at that point renovating, I think, 4 different properties, like duplexes, and just started to realize how much easier it would be if everybody was in one building, working on the same building together. So then they're not, I don't have contractors driving all around. Things are just a little bit more efficient on a job site. So
Yeah, when, and we didn't have a big crew that we were using or anything like that. It was just mostly the single guys working in 4 different houses. And, if they needed something, they individually would go run to the hardware store, and we're like, wouldn't it be so much easier if, those 4 guys were all working in single units in an apartment building? If somebody needed something from the hardware store, they could get it, they could all just one person go and get it for everybody, kind of thing. And, just save time and effort that way.
Now, haven't you guys opened up your own hardware store yet, or?
no, not quite.
Not quite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Close to that.
Yeah.
But I love that. I love that you're showing us not only the diversity, but the speed that you're pivoting, right? Because, kind of looking back at what you said, from when you joined the community and started investing to acquiring your first property, that was about a year. And then you implemented one strategy for about 2 years. And now you're finding yourself pivoting again. Now you're going full commercial and multifamily. So did you always think like that? Or was it the challenge that you were facing that pushed you to level up?
I think it's just as we mature as real estate investors, like last year, we only bought, I think, one property, which was vacant land outside of just outside Moncton, and we're building like 2 mid-size apartment buildings out there. Oh. And because, as much as we love burring apartment buildings, there's always challenges that come up, right? You think you have a budget, and then the budget falls apart because you open up a wall. And so we keep learning and growing from our experiences.
And pivoting, right? Like, it's constantly changing and following, like, the market also in the last year. I mean, it got tough. Maybe, it was getting hard to find a good cash flowing property, just because the markets were getting so expensive. So that's where we kind of pivoted, and we decided we wanted to get into doing some land development as well, and going that way. But
yeah,
I mean, we still look for the BRRRRs in the apartment buildings, obviously, because that's been kind of our specialty. And we have enough still on the go. We have a lot of buildings that we're still working on getting all the renovations completed.
10 refinances at a time on apartment buildings is not fun.
Not easy.
No,
I can't fathom that.
but I guess you guys have followed, maybe you'd read the book, not Who But How, or How But
Yeah, we're actually in that coaching program
right now. Yeah, he has a coaching program.
Not How. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, because you guys have found a way to kind of create a team and offload some of the burden that you guys have been having with yourselves, and try to find some more freedom. How did that come about?
Oh, we've stumbled every step of the way with building a team. I don't think we've had any terrible team members. It's just we didn't hire people who had experience in the real estate industry, and we should have started there.
We thought, we can train these people to do what we need. They're great people, and sometimes they just don't get it. I mean, if they don't believe in real estate, it's hard to change their mind, I guess, and show them this. We've even put a couple of our team members through Keyspire so that they can go in and learn about Keyspire, learn how it works, to get the basics and fundamentals that they need to understand.
Yeah.
For one of them, it worked well. For the other one, not as much, but he's moved on now. And yeah, but it's, you know, it is what it is. I mean, I think everybody runs into this when they're hiring people. It takes a while to find the right people. And I don't know if it was in the Who, Not How book, but I think you got to learn to hire slow and fire fast. I think that's key when you're hiring and firing. And it's not easy. It's not fun to do by any means, but if it's not the right fit, you just need to move on and find the right fit.
Well, it's business, and it's your lives. And I mean, you know, the reason why you're doing this is to try to release some of the stress that the burden that you've had on as well. So if you're hiring somebody on and they're stressing you out, it's not a good fit. But you bring up an interesting point, because I know a lot of the people watching and a lot of the community and our friends that we've spoken to, you know, we have these conversations with our friends and family who are not part of these real estate investing groups and communities that we are. And, you know, they're like, danger, watch out. No, don't, you know, be careful. Don't do it. Real estate's not great, you know. And so, you know, in terms of when you're hiring somebody too, I guess, you know, I didn't really consider that. But yeah, if they're not in the real estate entrepreneurial mindset, it might be a good fit for the team.
Yeah, and we've just had, you know, we've got everybody that knows us knows that I have the most amazing right-hand lady in the company, Nicole, who, I know Irismar is clapping for her. She's amazing. She came into the company not knowing anything about real estate. She's now in Keyspire. She's actually, her and her husband are looking at trying to start their own portfolio, which we will help them do. She's just been amazing. Recently, we just hired another team member. He's actually our acquisitions manager, and he has significant experience in land development. So he come into the company and it has changed our lives, literally. We've had him for 2 months, and I keep saying, I need 10 more showers. If I had 10 more showers, we would be just able to go swimming all day. Like, he's just everything, you know? So I really do think that it's your team. You have to have a team, and you have to appreciate your team. Irismar, I know you're in the manifesting challenge right now. And so our team is doing it at home as well. You know, like every day, even before this. We have a team in the office that they manifest things all the time. And like, those are the kinds of people that we want in our lives.
Yeah. And
I think that is great, because you're establishing, sorry, Jim, you're establishing your own, you know, your own culture and that team spirit, and supportive of one another, but also being mindful that, you know, Jim had mentioned that entrepreneurial mindset. Not everyone would have it. And given the rapid rate at what you have been expanding, it's not that we are letting people go. They have already fulfilled that purpose and that need that you had. You're moving into the next stage where you need to take your business to. But I bet you that has been difficult for you when you're making those decisions, right? Because they become so close.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, everybody
it's hard because we love everybody.
Everybody we hired, they were, you know, such great people, and we really did like everybody, but sometimes it just doesn't work out. But
like, we've taken the last 12 months, I would say, maybe a little bit longer. I call it cleaning up the house. Right. So, and that means Jamie and I needed to get our stuff together a little bit better. So we've taken the opportunity to look at everything. What are our acquisitions? Which ones should we be selling? What do we need to refinance? Why are things taking so long to refinance right now? Is it a bank issue? Like, and what staff, like, are we getting what we need out of the team? And if we're not getting it, is it because Jamie and I aren't being clear and we're not training people, or is it because we just don't have the right people? So we've made a lot of tough decisions this year, and we are finally back feeling good, good about, yeah, our growth and where we want to go. And we're starting to now make more goals, because we're going to have 10 refinances done in, 4 months kind of thing.
So we learned
Kudos.
something.
Yeah, thank you.
I forget who it was from, but we learned something like years ago that they said, as you're, building this quickly, every year take a look and, sell off your lowest performing or your two lowest performing properties and redeploy that capital into something that's better, and just
That
do
was
that.
Kyle Ford.
Kyle Ford,
Yes.
yeah. And he said, just continue to do that every year and your portfolio will just get better and stronger and stronger.
Yeah.
And I've known that, and I thought that was the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
And we've only like sold 2 properties our
Well,
whole
this year, no,
whole
this year
time,
we're
but
selling, yeah.
this year we're going to implement that. I think we're going to start doing that. And, I think it's just smart people are telling you what to do. You need to listen
Just follow
sometimes.
what they say, yeah.
Yeah.
I've said that for a long time. If all the smart people in the real estate investing world are doing this and they're successful, why the heck shouldn't we listen and take on this advice, right? So, that's awesome. And Kyle Ford is a great person that helps us out with sharing his knowledge as well. So
Yeah.
And I'll throw Irismar under the bus. Anybody that's watching and wants to learn more about manifesting or anything like that, you can reach out to Irismar, and
Oh, yeah.
she really loves talking about that sort of stuff. So feel free to do that.
Now,
Now,
I'm going to throw you under the bus too, Jim, because you have a chat going that I know I'm in with you about manifesting as well that you started. So
Yeah.
It's awesome. Awesome. Like,
just for the men.
yeah. And you know
Thanks,
what?
Jamie.
Hey, we believe in it, right? Positive attitudes and positive vibrations. Look at this real estate community.
totally.
You hang out with people with the same positive energy and attitudes, and they're so wonderful and caring and helping. Like, without this community, Jamie and I would not be where we are. I mean, there's no way.
I think that's the biggest thing of why we did grow as fast as we did and was able to do that. It was just from the community, right? I mean, I guess we can go into the next part where what really leveled us up was using other people's money. So OPM,
Right
I
on.
mean, between private lending, just finding other ways to do stuff, second mortgages for renovations.
Some partnerships
were, joint venture agreements and partners that brought money in.
Yeah.
There's so many different ways to do it. We've done shareholders before on buildings. So let people,
With
that
limited partners.
yeah, limited partners. But that way, sometimes people that are newer in the game and don't have enough funds to get into the apartment buildings, they can put their money in and actually own a piece of an apartment building, right? And
yeah, when we had shareholders in the one project, it was a 3-year term, and they earned 101% on their money when they were paid out.
Wow.
Yeah, and the other project was a 2-year term. It was only a 6-plex, but they earned 48%, I think, on their money when they were paid out. So we're always trying to come up with strategies on how to help one another. We all want to be real estate investors, and just because you don't want to actually do the renovation doesn't mean you shouldn't get a good return on your funds. So we're always trying to come up with creative ways to bring in investors on the projects.
And pay them before you pay yourself.
Oh God, yeah.
Right. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
the
the important part,
Yeah.
right? Is you need to take care of your investors.
Yeah.
Is there a strategy in the OPM world where you thought maybe we won't try that again?
Well, I mean, I don't think so. Like, we've never had a bad investor experience.
Awesome.
Like, we've
That's good.
never, we honestly haven't. And some of our investors turned into our closest friends in life because they've been so great. So I think just when we go into a strategy, the biggest thing for us is that we have turned down investor funds in the past, because if we don't think that the investor feels comfortable and if we know that they're gonna, be worried, then we don't want to take the funds. So it's been for us, it's been a good experience with investors and using other people's money.
Yeah, we don't want people to like worry, right, that, you know, I don't know, COVID hit, right? Like, I mean, that was a big thing, right? And you don't want people to panic about their money and, you know, feel like they need it back immediately. And, you know, just, we don't want people to worry about that sort of stuff. And so I think you have to be selective.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, when you're going through, you know, you got all the stress going on anyway with trying to make everybody comfortable, all the shareholders and all the people and all the financial partners involved, make them comfortable and keep things afloat. And then if all of a sudden you have somebody that wants to pull, you know, their money from you because they're nervous, that adds more stress to what you're trying to accomplish here. So you have to make sure that there's that relationship and that you guys feel comfortable with investing with one another.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is just making sure they understand that, I mean, they're important to us, and that's
The most important to us.
we're gonna work
Yeah.
through it. It's real estate, right? Sometimes there's ups and downs. It always ends up going up, though. I mean, it goes up and down all the way up. So just, you know, stick to your strategy. Your plan might change slightly and adjust as you do the projects, but
We always have 3 exit strategies. We always have 3 exit strategies. So, you know, and because of, once you get into the commercial multifamily or just a commercial, you can be so much more creative with your exit strategies as well. You know, we might start with, you know, that we own it and we just use private lending. And then later on down the road, you know, we might bring in limited partners or shareholders, or, you know, sell the building, just sell it, like
condomize it,
yeah.
sell off condos. I mean, there's so many different ways to do it, right? I mean, it's not just your typical refinance as the only strategy, or sell as your only strategy. There's others out there that you can come up with.
You just handed the viewers 5 awesome strategies there. Yeah. So thanks.
Yeah. No, thank you for that, because it's given us a, you know, we know that we know you, and I do appreciate it, love the friendship with Form, but you've given an insight as of to your investing style, as an who you are as well, and you're creating those win-win scenarios for both. And you were able to say, I need to raise the capital for my project, but sorry, I'm not gonna compromise it. You're still not comfortable. It probably delayed you a little bit, but you made that decision, right?
Yeah, it does. But we want people to, like, we really do want people to sleep well at night. The other thing that we do as investors, though, is if you are invested in any one of our projects, you have an open invite to go and see any building, anything that you want of ours. It may not be Jamie or I taking you around, but somebody from our team will get there and they will show you around, because we actually want people to see their money at work. I think it's really, really important for investors to go, like, see the unit, see the kinds of renovations that we do, see that, you know, we're actually doing what we say that we're doing. And I think if you're doing private lending or a shareholder or a limited partner in any project, you should go and see it. Go see the buildings.
Absolutely. You know, that seemed to be quite the theme in the past recent months, as people having an event at one of the buildings that they're doing, and they do a walkthrough. And I mean, you know, for those of you watching, I would recommend that if these events are going on near a city near you, try to go do it, because you know, Irismar and I were private lending in the beginning. We were nervous about taking on a new challenge, and going to these types of events and seeing how they do things, and learning and talking to Jamie, Leslie. We learn about exit strategies, and we learn about a ton of new things, and grow some confidence in terms of growing ourselves.
Yeah.
It's good to go to those projects, even if, you know, you're a working partner and you want to see what's going on and how it's done. I mean, sometimes there's such easy strategies, you know, like, I don't know.
We've had some moments where lockbox moments.
Yeah. Well, early in our career, every time we bought a new house, we went and got like 10 sets of keys made, and we'd hand one to the painter and one to the contractor, and, you know, hand them out to everybody.
We had like, what, 12 properties we were doing this for. It was insane.
And anyways, so all our contractors have a mitt full of keys, and they forget them, and we'd have to break them in or run down with a key to let them in. And then Cam Baker, our property manager, he's like, when he started with us, he's like, do you want me to just get you a lockbox? I'm like, oh, like such the simplest thing, right? But it's like, sometimes you can't see the trees for the forest. And sometimes just by going to somebody else's renovation, you can go, well, that makes total sense. Why aren't I doing this? We like to put ductless splits in a lot of our apartments to add air conditioning, because a lot of the buildings we're buying don't have air conditioning. Stuff like that. We've seen people that come and look and they're like, that's genius. Like, they get air conditioning. You don't have, window shakers hanging out of all the windows at your apartment building, making it look trashy, and little things like that. Just,
We learn from other people.
Just learn from people.
And Irismar and I have been with Jamie walking through Club Muskoka. Jamie was sharing a lot of what he's learned as well in terms of flooring and all that sort of backsplash and what they're doing in their units there. So it's just a reciprocal type of thing here. You learn something, you regurgitate it to the next people that are trying on a project. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
You guys are also you're in your home away from home 6 months or less a year, or somewhere around there, I think. You guys are often there through the winter. Tell us about that shift and what's going on there in Curacao.
Yeah, so we started to come to Curacao about 3.5 years ago, fell in love with it. So our business strategy has been that we want to own enough rentals on the island here that our life here is free, just like our life in Canada is free. So it's been one of our goals is to basically create a life and a team that we don't have to work all the time. Jamie has it wrote on the wall that he wants to create a life where he's free to only do the jobs that he wants to do. And that's kind of where we're at. So we come to Curacao about 3 months, 2 to 3 months at a time, a couple times a year. We've developed the team that allows us to do that. So nothing falls behind while we're here. And then we're working with the government. There's a potential land development opportunity down here where we could potentially be building 3 resorts. So
So we have the land under contract now. Yeah, it's big. So the land we have under contract is 1,460 acres of waterfront land. So there's about 3.5 kilometers of coastline. And yeah, there's 3 separate beaches on it. There's lots of room to build. So we're just waiting on government, but Leslie I
literally just got a message from our partners down here that said, I just got the letter from the government that we've been waiting for.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Wow! Oh, that's
Awesome.
I got goosebumps.
Yeah.
We
did have to take the prime minister out and get him drinking one time
to try and push this through.
Yeah, right on. Well, let me know if you need any
Well,
help.
you have to. That's fantastic. You're adapting to your market. You're assimilating the styles and culture, right? Which is a little bit different. So that speaks to that island vibe. So no, that is great. Very happy for you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now I need to ask, because I always ask. I love the journey and the level up on the business side. How have you leveling up personally?
Mm-hmm.
And what is it that you continue to grow and pushing yourself to?
Yeah. So we've always spent money on ourselves. Not always, actually. Since we started in Keyspire, we've spent money on ourselves. So we've spent about $300,000 in education over the last 6 years, whether that be individual coaching or, groups that we're a part of and all of those things. So I actually have a life coach who's also become a Keyspire member after her and I were connecting. So she's amazing. If anybody is ever looking for a life coach, it's Sonia Franzman.
Oh.
And Yeah, so I've been doing that for just over a year now. I also just went to a wellness retreat for a month in Thailand, and just to like get a refresh, and I've come back with a much clearer mind, and my goals just feel a lot more intact and in place. And then Jamie and I like to grow together as well. Like you can't, we are together 24/7. I don't know if anybody's like that with their spouse, but let me tell you, you need to have some, mutual understandings to survive that. So we try to grow together as a couple too, and do things like travel.
We
Like
do a lot of traveling, and
the amount of education we get just by traveling the world is like, it's just unbelievable.
Wow. Like, can you share an example of what,
so we went to Uganda this past summer and got to see the mountain gorillas. So we hiked
That was
up into the mountains, and
with our son.
with our son, and
Yeah.
we stood 5 feet away from silverbacks standing in the wild.
That were charging at me, and I was not happy about it at all.
what,
Oh my
I don't
God.
know.
what's going on?
Yeah, and
That's
our
a
son
beautiful
was there.
experience.
Yeah, I kept thinking I'm going to be that parent in the newspaper that is like, took their child to see the silverbacks and the child did not survive it. Like it was terrifying, but but that's what we do. We do things like, we do big travel, things like that, because it also gives us a sense of accomplishment, right? Like that was my bucket list trip that I wanted to do my whole life. So we did that together. We learned all about Uganda and their economy, and well, the animals, because we did like a safari, and we come out and our son has such an appreciation for especially immigrants who are coming to the country from some of these countries that we've visited, and he knows what kind of life they've lived, and he is so much more kind and caring, I think, because of it.
That's very touching. Wow, that's nice.
Mhm. Yeah, that is beautiful.
Yeah.
So is there going to be a speedway built around the resorts in Curacao so Jamie can fly around him?
We discussed certain stuff. Actually, there's some pretty big hills on it. So like we were actually discussing one of those luge, those, on wheels where you go down the hills.
Well, the resort idea was actually brought out of
Yes,
a go-kart track.
it was actually. We were talking about setting up a go-kart track. There isn't one on the island. And we thought, that needs some more entertainment. And we actually were looking at some land to be able to do a go-kart track. And then all of a sudden we found this land, and
Yeah.
it turned from a go-kart track to now we have full-on plans
Yeah.
for a
3 resorts.
3 resorts and a really big water park that we had designed. So I mean, yeah, I guess, Jim, it's possible. It's been there.
You guys are making us realize that anything is possible. So I appreciate you guys spending the time with us today. And Irismar and I just really appreciate you guys in the community. You guys are such givers, spreading the knowledge and sharing. We're really grateful to have you as friends, and just really want to say thank you.
And thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
And honestly, thanks for doing this at the show every week, because, we hear all the wonderful things that come out of it. And, we appreciate that you're giving back to the community.
It's too bad you couldn't make it down to do it in person, Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll plan for that. No, it has been amazing having you both. And I always like to, kind of end the show in a kind of more motivational or action taking. So what would be a book that you're currently reading that you would recommend, or your top podcast? Either or both.
Good question.
So I think as far as real estate goes, Who Not How. I think that's my top book.
What was my other one that I liked? It's from Dan Sullivan.
Oh, I forget what it's called. If for personal, I mean, I'm doing the manifesting challenge with Gabby, and Super Attractor is really good.
Oh,
Loving that book. It is really
Oh,
good.
super attractor. Okay, no, I haven't gotten that one. Okay. So that one
Yeah.
I need to add to my list.
The other one, the gap and the gain. I think
Yes.
that's a really good one. It basically shows you to not compare yourself to what other people are doing, but to compare yourself to where you've come. So where you've gotten to, so you
Appreciate it.
appreciate what you've actually done in your life rather than continually compare yourself to somebody else.
Wow, that's a good, that's a book?
That's a book. It's called The Gap and the Gain.
Yeah, that's gonna resonate with a lot of people.
It is. I think a lot of people get caught up with just searching for what they want to do, and they never slow down to look at what they've accomplished and really
That's
enjoy
me.
it.
That's definitely me. Yeah.
No, I can totally understand.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys. I
Good.
didn't say this at the beginning, but please hang on. We're going to end the show, but we're going to continue the chat afterwards here with you guys. So I just want to say thank you to the viewers for watching. Hopefully you're enjoying the new format here. Thank you, Irismar, for joining us from work.
Of course. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day,
everyone.
wonderful week.
Be good.
Yeah.
Have a great week, everyone.